Okay, 4 seconds in. Good morning to you guys, and welcome to everyone for the daily live daily forex analysis. Again, my name is George. If you are new to this channel, and the first one I'm going to address the question that Frederick asked. Thank you for dropping by. I briefly had a look of the Aussie US dollar. I'm gonna go into a bit more details after this. I'll analyze these currencies. So I'm gonna analyze the Aussie against US dollar, but briefly, which I had a look earlier, it looks a bit choppy to be honest. But there could be some day trading opportunities, which I'm gonna address them. I'm gonna start analyzing them a bit later. So the first one, we're gonna start with the Euro against Aussie, and we're gonna do Euro against Aussie dollar, US dollar against Canadian dollar, followed by New Zealand dollar against US dollar, and the last one gonna be Euro against US dollar as of the scheduled one, and then lastly I'm gonna analyze the Aussie against US dollar. So let's jump into the trading view. The one I said, Euro against Australian dollar. So this is currently EURAUD. So this currency moves a lot and much quicker than any other currency. So sometimes if you're looking at this currency, you need to be pretty much tuned in to get the entry. So if you wait for maybe in a couple of minutes, you might be just missing out the opportunity. So let's go to, so this is a daily time frame, and for now the price is looking good because yesterday we had this nice candle. This is a daily chart, so we had this nice candle up here looking to nice bearish strength. I do think I did mention it also in the yesterday or day before, I can't remember exactly, that the price might want to come down to these lows down here, and we can see that now it's pretty much where it's heading at the moment. So the level is down to this area, which is about 16800. This is for like a bigger view, and if you're gonna go drill down to the 4-hourly time frames, okay, on the 4-hourly time frames it looks a bit choppy as of the last couple of hours. We have these last 4 candles. This is a 4-hourly time frame. So we have these 4 candles, so it's kind of chopping quite a bit. Let me just have a look at the daily time frames, because daily did look pretty good, and I don't see any much of a kind of support or strong support that the price wants to just hang on there. It just might be this area, but it doesn't look, so the price is just kind of hanging on this area, but it does not look as strong as, let's say, down to this area. So let's see, let's see what what the price is gonna do. So again, drill down to so we've seen already 4-hourly time frame. Drill down to the 1-hourly time frame and see what we have it on a 1-hourly time frame. So this is a bit of a clearer view in here. So the price, after it has this nice run in here, and it's kind of pulled back in here. As we can see there, if you notice, I did mention it on pretty much most of my videos that I do pay attention for the candles. If you notice in here, this is very easily predicted that it's just a pullback. So did not get onto this one. I can't remember what was the reason. Probably I was just too late. Yeah, this one looks very much like a pullback because as of the candles, they look like we got this kind of inverted hammer or doji inverted hammer, then for this small down bar, and we had this nice inverted hammer in here. So that was probably a good area to get on to the short side. And now, so it had reacted, came down, and now it's kind of slowly making way up. So the price came out. Let me see if it's taken it hasn't taken out this spike high here. It is going to this area and then immediately kind of collapse down. This is only 1-hourly time frame, so it's not a huge move as of the 1-hourly time frame goes, but still important when it comes to the day trading. So on this particular occasion, we're gonna see, I do want to see for this one to Let me see where I can get onto. So because this one already made the move, so we had this spike here, so it made this move in here. Then it has probably already a couple of some orders came in here towards short side, but it's not enough because the reaction is not that strong. So price might want to come up. So the one in here, so we're currently sitting at 69, about 69.10. So if the price comes, most likely gonna be here, 69. Yeah, most likely I'll be looking for this area about 69.40 zone, which we got these highs and also these highs. That should be a better resistance, but of course the price might just continue and without even not give us a chance to get onto the trade. However, there is another opportunity I see, but it still needs to set up. So what I'm looking at, if the price continues to fall, as we can see it here, it's going so far, it's going nicely, and we got about 15 minutes before this candle is closed. So let's say if the price comes down, if the price comes down and closes a strong bearish candle, then ideally we're gonna see a nice retracement, nothing too strong towards upside, and we're gonna get onto this area here. So let's say if the price comes down at 168, about 168.90 zone, then we're gonna wait for the retracement towards about upside, about these highs, roughly about these highs, which comes in about 169.10 to 15 zone. So roughly speaking, we're looking about 20 pips or 25 pips retracement, which is nothing for this pair because this pair moves a lot. It can cover on the normal market conditions. This pair can cover good 300 pips a day. So something to keep in mind. That's why we generally use the bigger, wider stop losses on this particular pair. Also, we got this and the British pounds against Japanese yen. These two currencies, also my favorite. The reason why, because they move a lot, and if once you get onto that right trade, and then you can get loads of pips out of it. So for now, it's a bit of a waiting game on this one, and yeah, we're gonna see what's gonna do in the next 50 minutes. As of the stop losses goes, let's see. So the two options. So if the price comes up here, let's see. It's for the simplicity, I'm gonna use the brief number. In this case, will be 169.40. Of course, that's not an exact number, so don't take the exact number where I say it has to come up to at 169.40 because the price does not work that way. So if the price comes up this area, so let's call it 169.40, and we're gonna look for that's 20 pips. Most likely will be about 20 to 25 pips stop loss on this one. So as of the first one, if we go into here, if price let us to do that. Other than that, if the price continues to fall and then retraces, so if it comes down here and nicely closes, nicely bearish and shows strength towards downside, then we're going to look for the retracement to about 169.15 zone. So this is second entry as of the second potential entry. So on this one, we would be looking probably shorter stop loss. So 169.15, maybe 35, 20 pips. You can get away with 20 pips stop loss on this one. So we're going to position our stop losses just above this, above this this spike high here. So we're going to get, so first one is going to be 25 pips, and the second one is going to be at 20 pips. For now, to be more clear, we're going to see the target, because we need to make sure that our target is good. That's the pretty much, I would call it the first rule if you want to make money. And on this particular occasion, let's go a bit further. Okay, no, I think we used a daily charts. Okay. As of my personal opinion, as I mentioned earlier, I would be looking and holding this down to at about 6,800, where these lows are. 68.10, give or take, 68.10. So we will be looking roughly, depending where we get on, we'll be looking just over 100 pips gain. So 25 pips stop loss is gonna be good, 20 pips is gonna be also good. But if you wanna give it that extra bit of safety, you can give it 25 or even 30 pips stop loss. And I'm gonna touch one more thing later on when we go to the euro against US dollar. I had quite an interesting let's say comments on one of my videos, so I want to do touch on that one because I do think that's also important because some people might understand it a bit differently. So on this one, don't have much going on here other than what I discussed. So let's jump into the next one, which is USD. Oh, USD. Okay. USD Canada. Let's jump into the USD Canada. USDCAD, and let's go to daily time frame. Let's go to daily time frame. So this one yesterday has the quite nice moves because we had a news out on the US side, and it has a reaction towards. It has a nice reaction downside, but as I mentioned. I believe that was yesterday's one. I was anticipating for the price to come down to this level, which it did, but because of the news, it just went even further. And the second sort of entry was it was down to this low, so it made its way down to this low, and it has the reaction towards upside, so it retraced in a way. And now today we have this this candle is still developing, so it didn't do much moves yet. So for now I'm a bit more as of the day trades, as of the short-term trading, I'm a bit looking what the price is gonna do. So as of the swing, as of the bigger trend, still looking towards upside, but as of the short-term trading, let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see. Actually, it was not this one. I think it was USD. Okay, let's see. So this is the 4-hour time frame of the USDCAD. As of as the way it looks right now is it's looking that the price wants to. It's on a retracement mode, and the price might want to come up maybe because it's tested this. It's tested this one already, so it's testing, and then price might just continue dropping. So the way it looks at the moment is my view is that way. So you might want to go towards downside because these last 3 candles and also this candle so far, the way it looks, it doesn't look too strong, to be honest. So I'm more towards downside as of the short term rather than upside. So we're gonna see, let's go to the 1-hour time frame to have a bit of a clearer view on this. Okay, so we got 1-hour time frame where just guess where the price is heading. So the price already tested this area. It put this kind of inverted hammer or doji in here, but then it did not have much of a reaction towards the let's see if it has not taken, okay, it has not taken out this main high. So it has taken out this spike high, but it has not taken out this this spike here. So that could be the reason. It might be still a lot of a lot of orders. There might be a stop losses in here, so the price might want to come up and get rid of that orders. So market is here to fulfill orders, and stop losses are orders as well as limit orders, and yeah, take profits, they are all orders. So when it's enough orders, whatever, generally the excuse me, generally the orders are somewhere above the high or low, in this case most likely high. So it's already taken out this one and might want to come up and take out this high. So we're gonna wait on that one and see. I do not want to see anything strong moves though, because this is a bit not as if it starts showing more strength and starts going to go towards upside, then I'm going to take this step back because the setups is not that good. So I want to wait and see when the price comes up and takes out this high, and potentially might even head to this area here. We got this high as well, so we got a little cluster up here. So price might want to head it. And as we are on Friday today, the market's going to be closing at the end of the today. So if I think most people, they don't want to hold the positions over the weekend, especially what's going on around the world with the virus and all that. So we've seen on the last few weeks that we had this, I think on 2 or 3 occasions, we had these big gaps in the markets. So I don't think it's going to happen as big as we've seen it the last few weeks, but still we might get the big gaps. So as of now, so if we get on, ideally the price is going to come and take out this high here. So let's call it 141.20 on this occasion, because doesn't always come up to these highs and does what we want to do really. But on this occasion, let's call it 141.20 as of the entry. That will be my entry there, 141.20, and as of the stop losses, we're gonna position 15 to, let's say 15 pips. 15 pips is too tight, so we're gonna need a 20 pip stop loss on this one. So we're gonna position our stops above this this high here, so somewhere around here, which is also a bit higher here. So that's good. That's good. So and if the of course if the price continues to go higher, and especially if it's going to come up here, then I will not be that interested in this one. Maybe on the long side rather than a short side, but certainly if it's going to put something like this candle, this nice long bearish candle, then certainly I will not be interested to short it. But as of now, if it's going to just edge a bit higher, so it's about, what was it, 20, 25, 30 odd pips if it's going to push it higher. Let's go have a look at the targets. In this case, we do not want to target too far, just because it can take a long time, and because we are on a Friday, it might roll over. Unless you just close the trade, you might not want to roll over to the next day. So the price did came up. So the entry was the anticipation of the entry, and let's call it 141.20, and if we run it down to, down to these lows, the prior lows, which is being already tested. Generally, the price does like to, when it comes down for the first test, let's say, because we have this candle down here, so it tested this this area here, and the price does like to retrace and then come and retest these lows, and maybe it's gonna break it or gonna continue to upside. But in this case, we're gonna hold it down to these lows. That will be the max. So as of the target's gonna be around 140 or the 140.55. Yeah, about 140.55. So if we get on to at 141, we say 141.20, then we would be looking about 60, was it 65, 70 odd pips, which is good. And our stop loss is about 20 or 25 pip stop loss, and doesn't meet our requirements for the minimum, the 1 to 3 risk reward. I do want to. Okay, I'm gonna wait until we go to euro dollar, because that's the currency. I'm gonna refer it later. So that will be it for the USDCAD. Let's jump into the New Zealand against US dollar. NZDUSD. Let's see. And let's jump into daily time frames. So yeah, this looks pretty. Yeah, the price is kind of trying to squeeze between that this wedge. We have like trend line up and trend line down. So. I think the one yesterday, I analyzed the British pounds against US dollar. It looked pretty much similar. We had this wedge in here, so it's a similar situation. So, and I did say that it's because yesterday's candle was probably down to here, about this area, and I did mention that the price is not confirmed that it's broken the trend line until it's closed. So as we can see, the price came up and closed inside that wedge, and now it's kind of coming back down. Eventually it has to either break up or down, so it has to do one of the two things. Just the question where it's gonna head. So let's see on this occasion. So we have this more like a downside as of the big trends, but let's go to a 4-hourly time frame, see what we have it in on the 4-hourly time frames. Yeah, still looking down. We also have this similar one. So the price came up, but these candles, they're looking pretty strong. This not last, but these three bullish candles looking pretty strong, and this retracement towards downside, this more like a retracement because it looks very weak. It does not really shows. Again, pay attention for the candles. It's we can see that the candle is they're not looking that strong. So we have this kind of inverted sort of hammering here with such a these long wicks, and then spinning top, this half closing candle followed by almost a doji, and this one now looks like the hammer candle. Of course, this candle is not closed yet, but so far it does not looking that it wants to go down. There's not enough strength at the moment. We might see I think we have a news out today. So the British pound is already out. We have the Euro side, we have German IFO business climate, and on the US side we have core durable goods. This one on the US side, it does create some volatility. Depends, but it does create some volatility. This is the monthly one as well, so it can create some volatility. Maybe that's what the price is awaiting. Maybe it wants that extra nudge, and all the traders, what they're waiting for that to get onto, either depending how the news is going to come out. Sometimes like everything is looking good, but they're waiting for that final push, which could be the news or any other kind of event, or could be a speaker, and that's why a lot of traders might be holding the position and waiting for until that news is out, and then everyone kind of sort of jumps into that trade, and then that's where it starts moving a lot. So it's just a matter of time. It depends where it's gonna go. So that's the only thing. Just gonna, this is the game we're playing with the markets. So we're gonna, where it's gonna go, where the market's gonna go, and then we're gonna make money or not. But overall, if you are disciplined and you keep your strategy and follow your strategy like a religion, then you're gonna be good over the long term. I'm talking about over the long term, because we do like to concentrate on the first couple of trades, and if they turn out to be losing trades, then it's like feels like the end of the world. I know it's of course difficult to cope with the losing trades, but you have to always remind yourself for the next 100 trades that 3 losing or even 5 or 10 losing trades does not really matter, unless you're risking like 50% per trade, then it does make a difference. But if you're risking something like 1 or 2%, it's not a big deal really, because at the end you will know that you're going to make that money back, and even more if your risk reward is good. So that's why it's very important. Again, so let's sort the 4-hour time frame. As I said, it doesn't looking that strong towards downside, and we have this nice and also in this 4-hour candle we can see just one candle on the 4-hour time frame, and it took 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the 5th candle. So this, it took one candle to go up, and it took nearly 5 candles to come down. So that's why it's important to have a look at the candles. Right, let's jump into the 1-hourly. Let me just have a look at this more. See what we have it in here. So the price came down, it's tested this low here, and also these highs here. So that acts as a nice nice support. Price might want to push higher. So let's go to the 1-hour time frame and see what we have it on the 1-hour time frames. Okay, so in this particular occasion, I think I'd rather wait and see. I'd rather wait, and ideally, yeah, ideally I want to see a break of this zone here. Because they do look, and also we got this kind of little high in here, so ideally I want to see a break of this high, and so it's gonna happen about, so roughly about 6,000. So if it's gonna push up extra 10 15 pips and closes nicely, nice and strong, then that will be good. Then I will be jumping into the long side in this case, because the candle's looking strong towards upside on a shorter time frame on the 4 hourly and a 1 hourly. Of course, it can come down, but we need that confirmation before we get onto the long side, and we're not going to run it too far. So let's say we go into 60.05, let's call it that one, 60.05, and we go into 60.05. Pardon me, actually not 60.05, because that will be break. So if the price breaks that high, so 60.05, the price needs to come up at 60.05. So that will be it's going to take out these the highs I mentioned earlier, and also I need a nice strong close towards upside, then a retracement down. And the retracement, we're going to get onto the retracement. Ideally, it's going to come down to at roughly about 59.90 zone. 59.90 zone, then we would be looking towards upside. So that will be 15 pips retracement, which is not a big deal. So 59.95, and we're gonna run it to let's do a 4 hour time frame. We're gonna target the 4 hour time frame. Actually, before I do that, let's discuss these stop losses. So 59.95, and as of the stop losses goes, we don't want to hold it to 10 pips. Yeah, 15 pips. We're gonna hold it to 15 pips. You can give it a 20 pips. Ideally, it's 20 pips, but because the risk rewards. Let's have a look at the 4 hour time frames and see what's the targets, and then we can kind of already anticipate where how much we can use as of the stop loss, because you don't want to have the risk reward as 1-to-1. That is very bad. The 1-to-1 risk reward, at the very minimum you want 1-to-1.5. So these, okay, so that's 25. That's not very good risk rewards as of, let's say, 15 pips. More risk in here, so I'm gonna take a 10 pip stop loss, because so if we get to 59.95 with a 15 pip stop loss, and our target's gonna be up to the 60.20 zone. The reason why we have these highs here, so there's a good chance price is gonna come up. Price going to come up and test it again. So we got multiple, so loads of price action going on. So there's a good chance price going to head back up and test it again today. So as of the targets, and we're going to make so about 25, maybe 30 pips. So we do not want to have a the wider stop losses. So 15 pips is justifiable, definitely, to have a 15 pip stop loss, because this works out 1-to-2 risk reward, which is good. But I'm going to have a 10 pip stop loss, and if I get stopped out, then might as well be. But then I'm going to have 1-to-3 risk reward. So it's again personal choice. On this occasion, 15 pips probably the best one, or maybe even 20 pips. But we can't really give it a 20 pips because the target is pretty close. So target, stop losses, I did mention all of that, and let's jump into our EURUSD. Okay, EURUSD. Okay, it's going nicely down. Let's have a look at the daily time frame. So the reason why I also want to go to this EURUSD, I remember I did analyze it yesterday, and I called the trade. I believe it was, I can't remember what was the entry on that trade. It was somewhere here, if I believe. If you follow my trades, you probably get you know what I'm talking about, but I can't remember what was the exact entry. When we're gonna drill down to the shorter time frames, I think I'm gonna remember it. Where did I call it for the entry? And I do remember for the targets was the second target was down at 107.5, and the first target was at 107.30. So let's go down to the shorter time frames. So the trend view has not changed. So I do see that the price making its way down to this low here, 107.05, basically where these lows are. Maybe even to come down and take out this spike low down here, and maybe we're gonna see the continuation. But for now, let's jump into the 4-hour time frame. We don't want to look too far ahead. And on this one, it does looking nicely bearish. Right. Okay. So the price came up and tested this one. This one was the yeah. That's where we got nicked because of the news. So I'm gonna go drill down to the 1-hour time frame, and it's gonna be clearer. I'm gonna go through with this currency. So the price came up to this and nicked out that high. Let's go to a shorter, 1-hour time frame and see. Yeah. Okay. So I do remember. I think the what I call as of the trades, I do believe it was somewhere up here as of the yesterday when I called the trade, and as far as I remember, the stop loss supposed to be somewhere up here. So basically just above these highs here, and I did, because the targets I called was quite far away, and yeah, someone commented about this, so this is more not really an intraday or something like this. So I do like critics when people do, as long as it's constructive. I do take that. Yes, in a way it's right, it's not really intraday because the target is like 100 pips away, so intraday generally doesn't last that long, depending on the currency. Euro dollar can do it because the volatility generally has, but as of the Euro USD, 100 pips is definitely not really an intraday. However, I do want to mention a few things in here. So as of the my strategy goes, this is more like could call it swing, but in my the way I think the swing trade is even bigger than 100 pips, maybe 2 or higher, and this is more like what I call semi swings in a way. But depends, like what, because it's based on my strategy, and I do take the 1 to 3 risk reward. But you don't have to have that 1 to 3 risk reward. If you use 1 to 2 risk reward, that is very good. It's not a bad risk reward. The bad one is if you take 1 to 1.5 or 1 point, something like 1.2. So that's I would say that it's not that good. But anything if it's 1 to 1.5, it's all right, and anything 1 to 2 is good. So if you want to take your profits, let's say I call it the targets. So for example, I called it, the last target was down here, and then we entered it, let's say in here, for just pure for examples. So we enter it here, and I call it the target to meet my requirements, which is 1 to 3 at the very minimum, is down here. However, you might not want to risk that much, because the risk as of the time, because the longer the trades take to play out, because that's why the high risk rewards has the lower win rate. The reason why, because you're going to be staying longer in the trade. So the longer you stay, there's a good chance that the price might just come down, maybe just slightly get to your target, but not quite trigger the target, and just turn around and just stop you out in the at the end. So you need to be aware of that. So if you were 1 to 2, let's say if we so we enter in here, and my target is down here, and if you take, this is 1 to 3, let's call it 1 to 3 risk reward. But you can take your profits up to, let's say, on the halfway. So let's say this is 1 to 2. That's pretty good, because you still made money. So it's 1 to 2 risk reward. So you risk 1 to make 2, and on the longer run, you're gonna make money, and there will be more look like the intraday rather than maybe 1 to 3 does not generally works out much of an intraday, unless we use a very tight stop loss, so something like, I don't know, 10 pips or so. But also you need to keep that in mind, the spreads, because you do pay for the broker, whether it's spread betting, depending on what you're doing, spread betting or CFD or whatever this is your using, so you do pay for the broker, so you need to keep that in mind. My broker does not charge me as of the commission for the buying or selling, but they do that. I do pay that spread, that difference, so I need to always like constantly keep that in mind. I'm pretty sure a lot of brokers do that. And let's say if the price comes down at let's call it for the 107.60, it only needs to get to, in my case, depending on the pairs, but for as an example, it only needs to get to 107.62 to even my stop is at 107.60. It only needs price only needs to come down at 107.62 for my stop loss to get triggered. So you need to keep that in mind, especially when you intraday the day trading. That 2-3 pips does make a difference, so always keep that in mind. And if you do not know what your broker is charging you as a spread or commission or whatever that is, just make sure to find out, because it does make a difference at the end, that 2 pips. Yeah, so on this occasion, let me so the golds, this one, so golds, let me see, I think we do have a time. We are only 35 minutes, so I do think I'm gonna have a look at this. Let me just finish with the what do you got, euro against the US dollar, and I'm going to jump into Aussie against US dollar, and we should have a time for the gold as well, because I do look at the currency as well as the S&P 500 and all that, so I already have a kind of idea on that. So what I was saying on the euro against US dollar. So yeah, I did cover that one. So I do understand some people might be critical that it's 100 pips, so it's not really an intraday. But if you're gonna shorten your risk rewards, then it's gonna look like more of an intraday. Just my personal strategy, I have that 1 to 3 risk reward. This is my minimum to meet that minimum requirement. Or higher, so the higher the better, but then obviously the trade might not work out until if it's like 1 to 10 risk reward, for example. So okay, so back to the euro against US dollar for the potentials. I do see this same, my view is pretty much the same as it was yesterday. And yesterday, the other thing I want to touch. So yesterday we've seen that we had our stops and we got nicked because we had a news out and the price had this aggressive move towards upside, and we got nicked in here. And then price, of course, continued towards downside, but because of that news, yeah, this stop loss, it will not survive unless you do not use stop loss, which over the long run is not good. I make sure always I mention to use stop losses, because that does save you even on the long run. So okay, back to the trading analysis. So let's see what is. I do want to see a bit more retracement on this one, and the only thing is the price already gone so far down, and okay, that retracement is going to be too far. That will be too far. So I want to see. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame and see what we have it in there, because I don't want to see a retracement. Just a matter of we need to use some sort of. Okay, that's too far. Okay, let's go to. I generally don't like to use a short time frame such as 15-minute charts to get the if the price retraces, let's say it's a 15-minute high, I don't use that, because 15-minute charts is not as reliable such as the let's say 1 hourly, 4 hourly, or daily, the higher time frames. I do use 15 or half an hour charts as of the purely for the setup to get into the trades, but I don't use it as a if just basing on if it comes up to that 15-minute high or low, I'm going to get onto a trade. I never use that because I find it's not that reliable compared to the higher time frames. So on this particular occasion, let's see. Okay, we might need to. Let me have a look at the euro against US. Okay, this is AUDUSD. I want to have a look at it because I can't place the pivots on this. On these charts, and I do need to have a look at my MetaTrader 4. So on this occasion, okay, it looks a bit different on this one. So 107.56. Yeah, it looks slightly different. I think it's a different. What chart is that? 4-hour time frame. Okay, so up to these. Okay, it looks slightly different in here than it's on my MetaTrader 4. So let me just look at it because I don't see any potential to get onto the entry. I do have it on the MetaTrader 4. It does look like the entry could be at 107.55, but I just want to make sure that actually we can draw the trend line in here. Let me see. It's a very steep trend line, but okay, we got this steep trend line, but that's not good. Yeah, I don't like on the. Okay, let's go to the 1-hour time frame. Yeah, I'm trying to look for the entry, but it does not really. There could be one up here. Okay, the other potential entry, I do see it in here. However, there is a catch. So I do see the potential entry up to these highs. However, there is a catch in this one. The catch is for this hour candle. So it's going to close in about 20, less than 20 minutes. So if it comes up this high, so around this area in here, then I want to see happening in not definitely on this candle for the either next hour or hour later. So in the next candle, ideally it will do it in 3 candles. So this candle, next hour, and 1 hour after that. So if it comes up something like this, let me draw it better. So if it closes something like this, then the next candle is going to be something like this one. Then I would give it a shot for the downside. And we already have the same targets as the one I discussed yesterday, so pretty much all the same, not pretty much, all the same basically. So as of the targets, and let me see, so the targets are the same. So the entry is gonna be at down to more likely 60. Yeah, I would give it a maximum 60, so it's not that far away. Yeah, the price is not that far away. However, it has to do it in the next 2 candles. So after this one is closed, I do want to give it 2 more candles. When the price comes up, then we're gonna use that to get onto the short side. So let's call it 107.60, and for the stop losses 60, 70. Probably gonna be needing. We did 15 pips and now 20 pips stop loss. We're gonna need a 20 pip stop loss on this one. So we're gonna get on at 107.60, 20 pip stop loss, and as of the targets, the one I mentioned, the price already. Oh, so the price already came down to the first target, the one I mentioned yesterday. Actually, didn't even notice. So 107.30, so already came down. So the next target's gonna be on a daily time frame, which is at 107.05. So we're gonna get on to 60 and 107.60 and 05. We're gonna use 20 pip stop loss. So that's gonna work out just about 1 to 3 risk reward. I'm probably gonna use 18 pip stop loss just to meet that 1 to 3 requirements. But then again, 1 to 2 is good. I do want to emphasize because some people might take it the wrong way. So I've got like 1 to 2.5 risk reward, and it's bad. It's not bad, especially if you're new. Might just thinking like, oh, I definitely want to have 1 to 3, but you do not have to. It comes to the personal preference, and it's how you work, how you're trading, your strategy, and it's a lot depending on that. So again, so the target's gonna be at 107.05. Okay, so let's jump in to, as Frederick asked, I'm gonna go to Aussie against US, the USD, the USD. So daily time frame, I did mention this was choppy. Yeah, I did have a look at it earlier. Yeah, it looks pretty choppy as of the short-term view. So this is the daily time frame. The trend, so the big trend is still down. However, we had this nice move towards upside for this this week and last so 2-3 weeks now, and now the price came up to this trend line. It tested, came down, has this aggressive reaction towards downside, and had this kind of move, like double top in a way, and now it's kind of struggling to break this trend line, so you might want to go down. But let's look at the 4-hour time frame and see what we have it in there, and then we're going to jump into the 1-hour time frame, and we're going to analyze if there is any potentials in here. I do see potentials, but because it's choppy, we can see on a 4-hour time frame this is on this range, and when we're gonna go to the 1-hour time frame, we're gonna see it more clearly. So the price came up and take out this high, and now it has this retracement sort of downside. It doesn't look looking more strong as of the short term goes towards upside than its downside, but price might look, especially in the choppy market, price might look that it wants to break, but then it just completely turn around and go down. So on this occasion, let's look at the 1-hour time frame and see what we have it on the 1-hour time frame. Okay, 1-hour time frame looks good. I can't remember, was it this one? No, the 1-hour time frame looks good. On the 4-hour it's a bit choppy, so it's been going down and it's coming up now. So on this occasion, if let me move this one here. Okay, so the price came up and tested these. So these highs, we got this multiple. Yeah, we got a little price action going on in here. So price came up and tested it, and now it's just a matter of question what it's gonna do. Ideally, I want to see a break of this area here. Definitely a break of no, this one. So break of this area. So I want to see a nice strong close towards upside. So I want to see a bullish candle before I jump into the long side. And then if I see something, probably not going to happen in this hour because it's going to close in about 12 minutes. So unlikely the price is going to come up and close strongly. So maybe in the next hour, but it has to do it in the next hour. So something like, it's a bit too long, something like this one. So if in the next hour it comes up and closes nicely, then I will be looking for the retracement. So if the price, let's say, comes up and closes strong, I do definitely want to see a strong close towards upside as of the bullish candle. Let's say 63.75, actually 15 pips away, so it's not that far away, and then a retracement most likely down to this 75. That will be too close, so we might want to give it extra, give it about extra 10-15 pip retracement. So the price, when the price comes up to, if it comes up, it's 63.75 and it closes nicely, strong bullish candle, and demonstrates that strength, then we'll be looking for the retracement towards around this area where we got these spikes. So 63.65. Ideally, the price comes down and takes out these spikes here, then we're gonna wait, not wait, but get onto the alongside. So as of the targets, so we get onto the 63.65, and for the stop losses, we can use a tight stop loss in here, 55. Yeah, we can use about 10 or 12 pip stop loss. 10 or 12 pip stop loss, because if the price comes down, if the price comes up here first and then starts to come down like this, then the more likely the price is going to continue towards a downside. So we're going to use 12 pips max, maybe we can get away with a 10 pip stop loss. So the entry is going to be around 63.65, and for the target, let's see the target, 63.65. Let's go to 4-hour time frames. 4-hourly time frames. See what we have it on the 4-hourly time frames. 65. Okay, the target's gonna have to be on this occasion somewhere about here, because I do not want to mess with this trend line. There's a chance that it's gonna be broken. But if you do not want to hold the position over the weekend, then you need to get out a bit before. So if we can give it extra slack, so if we get off at 63.85, so we'll be looking, yeah, as of for me, I would not be taking the trades. But if you're having the risk reward as a 1 to 2, then it's a good trade. So you need to use a 10 pip stop loss, and you can get out at, so the entry is 63.65 and get out at 63.85, unless you want to hold the position and run it. There's also a good chance that the price might want to go up to these highs. But personally, the way it looks, it's not as high chance to work out as for me. But if you want to have that 1 to 2 risk reward, then it's good enough, pretty good. But obviously I do have my minimum requirement, which is 1 to 3, which it does not meet in this case. And yeah, I can hold it up to here where it meets, but I do want to see a bit more on this currency before I commit to that. So far it does not really look that it wants to go and even break this trend line and go up to here. But as of the chances of the price coming up to this 63.85, which is also this highs, yeah, price does like to do that, come up and test the prior highs. There's a good chance on that. And the gold, right? You did ask, yeah, about the gold. So USD, and see what we have on gold. Okay, the gold. Let's go to. I'm gonna look at it as of the day trading, more of intraday. I do like to trade the gold and S&P. Okay, not as much as S&P 500, but I do like to trade the gold more of a swing trade basis rather than the intraday basis. So I'm more towards the swing on the gold rather than on the intraday. So I do like to hold the positions for the gold. S&P depends. So let's go to the gold. So the price came up, so it tested these highs again. So it made this double top here. I know a lot of people like to pick reversals, which in this case, I think a lot of orders went into here for the sell side. But I do like to wait. It's good. Sometimes it does work out when you pick the reversals, and you can get a lot of pips. Let's say it happened to me a couple of times that I picked the reversals with a super tight stop loss, and then just like went to I think risk reward was like 1 to 25 or 30, something silly. But over the long run, it's I find it doesn't really work out for me. So as of this case, like it's more like a waiting game. So because the price can break and go higher, and the way it looks now, it's pretty strong towards upside rather than downside. And if it's gonna continue to fall, let's go to the 4-hourly time frame and see what we have it in there. Let's see on the 4-hourly time frames. So 4-hourly confirms the same thing really. If you want to get onto the short side, I do want to see a bit more. I do not think it's going to do it today. So if you get onto the short side, I do want to see a strong down bar. I do want to see a nice bearish candle towards downside before I commit to the short. Most likely a break of these lows down here. Let's see. So this is at 117.12, so it's quite far, but I do want to see break of this area here before I commit to the short side. Let's see if we can use as a target this area. So it's about 1200. Let's go to the 1-hourly time frame. Let's get the 1-hour time frame. Do not think so. The target potential, if we can use it at 17.12. So 17.12. So if the price comes down, Ideally, it's not gonna do this candle, so maybe next candle. But again, I do want to see a strong, something similar to this candle, like this one, this bearish candle downside, something like this. I don't think it's gonna do it in the next 5 minutes because this 1 hourly candle is gonna close in 5 minutes. But if it does it in the next candle, something closes something like this. Excuse my drawing, it's pretty bad. But let's imagine this is a candle and I draw it pretty good, but which is not. So let me draw it again. So let's imagine that the price come down and come down to this area, shows more strength towards downside. Then I might be looking for the retracement. We can use, so let's say the candles come down at 17.23 and then retracement 25, maybe about 26. Let me just go a bit closer because we don't want to get it wrong. We can get it at 26 roughly. You can get it at 27. So retracement to the 27, maybe even 26, probably 26. Give it extra. So 26, but because we are the targets, I don't want to do anything more than this one because there's a good chance the price is going to come down and then might even skyrocket towards upside because the big trend is up as of the daily and 4 hourly, and also 1 hourly is starting to kind of turn as of this one, but as of the 4 hourly and daily time frames, looking, its trend is up. So if the price comes up, let's say we're going to 1726, which one was the target? 12. Okay, so we're looking about 14 pip gain, and for the stop loss, let's say 26. Okay, 26.4. We will be looking about 8 pip stop loss on this one, and we're gonna run it to 1712. So 1712, if you get onto it, it doesn't meet the requirements, so 8 pips gonna be too steep on this one. Again, if you want to take a risk, then I personally would not do. I personally would not take this trade, but this is the potential I see personally. But as of my preference, I would not personally take this trade. So 126, you can get even a tighter stop. Let's say 4. Yeah, you can get a 4 pip stop loss, but then you leaving it to chance that there's a good chance the price can chop around and then take out the stop loss. So you can give it 4 pip stop loss, or maybe 5. Yeah, 5 will be maximum because we want to meet that requirement, the risk reward requirement, for that at least ideally 1 to 2. And if we give it a 5 pip stop loss of 26, yeah. So to give it a 5 pips or even 4 pips, but again, this is more like a high risk trade. The chances of getting stopped out is very high. So, and then we're gonna run it down to these 1712. A reason why we got this 4 hourly support. So we got down to this. This looks pretty strong support, so there's a good chance the price, if it comes down that far, that will be it, and then probably going to continue higher. And as of the long, if you're looking for the long side play, then I do want to see a break of this area, but it's not going to happen today because we want to see a close of the candle, of the daily candle, and it's not going to happen today. So that's more like a next week kind of next week trade. So as of the short term, the short side, as of the selling goes, that's what I can see. But personally, again, I will not recommend that trade. So let's see how long we've been going. Okay, we've been going nearly 1 hour, so that's like a new record. I'm gonna be signing out, guys. Hopefully I answered like all a couple of questions, and I will see you guys on so my next live daily forex analysis is gonna be on Monday, 8 a.m. UK time. But I do upload my weekly forex analysis, will be out tomorrow. Oh, not the live trading. I'm gonna just upload the video generally consists 2 or 3 videos, so 2 different currencies. So that would be for the weekly forex analysis, and I also upload Sundays, so I upload every day. So make sure to subscribe if you're new to this channel, and hopefully you're gonna get a lot of value out of these technical analysis or weekly forex analysis, and hopefully you can learn and get more value, as well as I do that videos about the how we can improve your trading and things to like be aware of it, because there's a lot of psychological game in so in forex trading. There's a lot of psychological things going around it, so you need to yeah, you need that mindset, the trader mindset, to succeed into the markets. So yeah, and if you like this video, make sure to hit that like. It does really helps me, and also it does motivates me to make even better videos. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on my live trading analysis for Monday at 8 AM on the UK time. So let's sign out.